Everything at Auckland Zoo is about conservation, educating, advocating, and we do conservation hands-on in the field and make a direct difference in the wild.
This is why I do what I do. This is the epitome of it all.
We are scientifically driven and motivated.
This is the first time this has been done.
There must be a way we can succeed, and we're just going to keep trying.
Using our skills in the zoo to provide support for the most threatened species we have.
This time on Wild Heroes, rhino calf Amali is thriving with the herd.
She's full of energy, very curious.
Sumatran tiger Zana gives birth.
There are a lot of risks with her being a first-time mum.
And the zoo team hatch and rear native Kakariki Karaka chicks for release to the wild.
This species has been declared extinct twice.
White rhinos were nearly extinct 100 years ago, and with a lot of conservation efforts, they are now up to a number of 10,000–15,000, which still is not sufficient for a sustainable population. They are still nearly threatened. That's the status at the moment. It's really important to connect with these species and experience how amazing they are. Here at Auckland Zoo, we have 4 rhinos. We have Jamila and Zambezi, and their 2 daughters, Naya and little Amali. Amali is the newest member of the rhino family. We choose the name Amali, which means hope, which is quite suiting for a little rhino. There is hope for the species, that with conservation efforts, we can actually make a difference for white rhinos. Amali is just doing amazing. She's hitting all the milestones, she's growing really well, she's enjoying her little family, and she's bonded really well with her big sister Naya. They venture off and doing things by themselves, sometimes pestering the nyala and the water buck and chasing them around a bit. She's full of energy, she's very curious, quite independent compared to Naya when she was born. Maybe a little bit more attitude. Come on, Jamila! It's really important that we start small training sessions when they're babies so they get used to training in general. This is actually just the 3rd time Amali is in this training shoot. Amali!
Good girl. You look.
The shoot gives us the opportunity to get really close to them for an examination, blood draws, or treat them for an injury, for example.
Molly. You look. Molly. She's turned, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. Want to come back?
Come on. Good girl. Hello. Don't wait.
Amali?
Molly. Come on. Good girl. Woo.
So we just want her to be nice and calm, being away from both her mom and big sister. We keep these training sessions very short, so everything is just a positive experience for her. When she's ready to leave, she will tell us and we will let her back to mom.
Hello.
For the team, it's huge. Seeing that little healthy calf doing all the right things, it's amazing.
New Zealand native birds have their own sense of beauty. Many species are endemic. I particularly love parrots and parakeet species, and we have some incredibly unique and quirky parrot species. They're very, very special. The Kakariki Karaka is the smallest of the Kakariki species. They're very cheeky birds. They're really inquisitive, extraordinarily beautiful to look at. They are seed dispersers, integral to their natural environment. Auckland Zoo's been involved with the Kakariki Karaka Breed for Release program for many years now. This is Department of Conservation and Ngāi Tahu led, supported by Isaac Conservation and Wildlife Trust and now Orana Wildlife Park.
Kakariki Karaka are critically endangered, numbering between 300 and 400. This species has been declared extinct twice already. A big issue for them is habitat modification via deer and possums. Mammalian predators are a huge issue. Kakariki Karaka eggs are laid here in the zoo and then hatch. We are monitoring the whole process, then they can release into the wild.
Oh my gosh, they've got so big. It's got feathers coming through.
They're just a couple of weeks old.
Oh, hello.
We'll do a little bit of a health check on them.
This is looking really bright.
Yeah.
A little bit of food in its crop. Oh, it's got some green pins coming out on its tummy. Cute. And its tail's popping out now
Yep,
as
and
well.
on the wings.
And on the wings. So it's one of our older
Beautiful.
ones. And your
And look,
feet.
he's getting zygodactyl feet.
Yep.
Zygodactyl means 2 toes facing forward, 2 toes facing back, and that is very typical of parrots' feet. We'll weigh them so we can keep track of their development.
43.2.
And then we're going to move them into a nice fresh nest box.
Pins are coming through on the tips of the wings. Very small though.
We're making sure there's nothing obviously wrong with them, no injuries, no scaliness or discharge, that feathers look like they're developing nicely. In we go. I think this one is our youngest one. We're checking that they are being fed, so a little bit of food in the crop, and that nobody's showing signs of dehydration.
Still a little grey ball of fluff.
They're developing just as we would expect them to develop.
Today we're going to attempt to do an ultrasound session with Zana. What we're hoping to see is some evidence to suggest that she is pregnant.
Auckland Zoo is part of the international breeding program for Sumatran tigers to maintain the genetic diversity within Australasia. A couple of behaviours that might indicate that she's pregnant is she's got a little bit more lethargic. She seems way more relaxed than she normally is. She's wanting to sleep inside a lot more. At the minute, it's still very much a guessing game. Some days we're like, yep, she's definitely pregnant. And then other days, she looks like she might be coming back into estrus.
Just gotta set it up, Z.
Normally we would use a larger probe and could go around the whole abdomen. How we safely can do this with the tiger, we can only use the smallest ultrasound probe, which just fits through the squares.
Hi. The session is fully voluntary, it's totally up to Zana, and we'll only go as long as she's comfortable. All right, Z, are you ready? Thank you. All good, Nick?
We all ready?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Come on, up we come. I know. Down.
Well done, Z.
yes.
All right, I'm just coming
Good,
through.
Z. Work, Zana.
That's it. All right, I'm just gonna apply some lube. That's it. That's it, Z. So just massaging that in a bit. Nice and settled there. Good. Okay, ready when you are, Anne. Awesome,
Good job,
thank
Z.
you. You're good, Nick.
Yep.
Catch. Today we're going to attempt to do an ultrasound with Zana. You're good, Nick.
Yep.
Catch.
So this is still all gut, we see.
That's all gut.
Yeah.
Delicious.
If you just stay there for a
Yep.
second, I'm just gonna play with it.
How are you going for awards, Nick?
Yeah, I'm on syringe number 3. Probably don't want to do more than 5.
Okay, cool. Touch.
turning 90 degrees towards you. What's that? Oh my goodness!
Ah, there it is, there it is. Well, that's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Very exciting. We definitely saw a baby.
So we got some ultrasound images. It's a bit unclear, but you see like white lines, which actually are spines, and I see actually 2. But there might be more there that I can't see. So this is really for us to confirm that she's pregnant, but not to look at all the details.
The gestation for Sumatran tigers is 103 days. Getting close to the time, she'll get bigger, her nipples will be on show, she'll get hungrier, she might want to sleep a lot more because she's carrying a lot more weight. We'll be keeping a close eye and a close connection with our vet department to make sure that science of care for her as a pregnant female tiger is looked after completely. This is a significant time for Auckland Zoo. We've not had tiger cubs here in over 15 years. So yeah, super, super exciting.
Zana's doing really, really well. We are technically just under 2 weeks out from her potential expected due date. Her focus and her energy levels are dropping right back. She's getting slower, she's getting bigger, she's starting to get a little bit fussy with her food, which is all completely natural and normal. All right, I'm gonna go this side. Last 2. So this will give Z a good spot to come into. She might decide to cub here. I'll just fluff up the stuff on the inside as well. If she does, hopefully this will kind of provide a little bit more protection for those cubs as well, keep them nice and safe and give her extra options. It's all up to her now. She could really drop at any point. First thing in the morning, let's check our camera system, look back over the night what she's gotten up to. Changing positions quite a bit last night. These signs that she's started to get more and more restless overnight and more uncomfortable in her positioning is all telling us that she's getting close. She is a first-time mum. She might not be successful the first time round, but we've got our fingers crossed.
She could potentially miscarry. She might even reabsorb in the womb, and it's quite common in carnivores that they do actually consume their young. So we are prepared for all these eventualities. We noticed that Zana seemed to be in a little bit of discomfort. She wasn't eating. She was indicating to us that she really wanted to go outside. She went straight out, fell asleep in one of her caves out in the habitat. We kept a good watch on her and noticed that she was starting to have contractions. So our team leader went down, had a look, and yep, she had given birth to a single cub. When Zana did display those natural mothering behaviors, she cleaned it, she groomed it, it was vocalizing, so we knew that it was healthy. There was a little bit of time between that and the second cub, so it was around 2 hours, which isn't normal. It was a stillborn cub. Zana's natural instincts kicked in. She knew it was stillborn straight away, so she did consume it. Our policy when we began this was to let Zana be a mother no matter what the circumstances are. So we left her to it and just had to leave her overnight.
We were very, very aware and conscious of the fact that there was a really, really high chance or risk that she might mismother the remaining cub. And the next morning, didn't hear any calling from the cub, and that gave us a pretty kind of clear indication that she had mismothered and consumed that cub overnight.
In the wild, it's very common that if a female does give birth to a single young, they'll remove that cub. Their bodies will then cycle naturally back into an estrus and then potentially mate again in the hopes that the next litter will be of a larger size.
A little devastating, but at the same time, Zana has been our main focus. Her health is definitely first and foremost. Zana has that biological drive to perform that behaviour and to try and have as many cubs as she can cats can come back into estrus very, very quickly after losing a litter. That is the whole point of mismothering. So we're monitoring their behaviour. We will be putting them back together and allowing them to have that chance to breed again and hopefully successfully have another pregnancy.
Look what I've got. Delicious. Come and get it. The Kakariki Karaka chicks have now grown. They're fledglings and they've left the nest. They've gained a lot of confidence in their ability to fly, their ability to perch, to navigate their way through the foliage. We're providing stab fruit, so we're encouraging more foraging behaviours. Create an environment where these birds are able to display and practice all of the natural behaviours and the skills they will need to be able to survive in the wild.
We've just come out of our third lot of mating introductions with Rama and Zana. I think in total we got to 144 copulations overall, which is amazing. Today we found evidence of at least one fetus inside Zana, so what that means is that we've got a pregnant tiger. So super excited. We're just going to be monitoring her closely and hope that she has a higher number of cubs this time round. Today is a really, really exciting day for the team. We've come in this morning and we've actually got 2 little tiger cubs. We're so excited and so pleased. Cubs, when they're born, are completely blind and deaf, so their ears are kind of sealed shut, their eyes are closed over. It's all scent-based. We want to make sure that Zana's creating that relationship and that link to them and really forming a strong bond. She's going to spend her entire time with them. We will do our first health check to make sure that the cubs are doing well. We get to just have a quick visual, give them a weight, popping them into a container that's already lined with dirty straw from mum, so they still smell like mum throughout the entire process.
2.967.
And then leave mum to it and let her do her thing. Super exciting for the team, and it's really, really important for the region as well in terms of what they bring to the tiger population, which is a critically endangered species.
Today we've caught up the birds in this aviary. Our vet James is going to be doing the final health check before they go into pre-export quarantine.
We could see an infection in the eye, we could see that the membranes are a bad colour or they've got yellow infection in the back of their mouth. We're also checking their legs and their wings and their feather coloration. All looks really good. And most importantly, she can fly, which was zooming around the enclosure this morning, I guess.
Yep. Sure.
But that's all good, and we check their feet and make sure there's no swellings on the toes and no abrasions underneath the foot. And what we call their body condition. Ideally, we want them to be not too fat and not too thin. Oh, really good body condition, aren't they? We're then going to take some swabs. It's like they know, hey?
Oh, yeah.
They know when the swab's coming. With these swabs, we're looking for a certain bacteria. By my thumb. One in the choana, which is the slit in the roof of the mouth. And then this is the cloaca, so the bird's backside.
All good?
Yep, that is brilliant. This is one virus that parrots can carry that we use the feathers to test for. And although this is a bit uncomfortable, it's over and done with real quick. So some of what we do is not always very nice as vets. Most animals don't really appreciate us, so. But that's okay.
A lot goes into making sure these guys thrive from egg to release, because they're pretty special. It's a lot of intensive care, absolutely.
The breed for release birds, it's important that we don't send any diseases back to the wild. It's all an abundance of caution. We would anticipate all of these samples coming back negative. Oh.
All right, buddy. It's quite amazing to be able to work with such a critically endangered native species and see it through from the breeding to the release. We're all done. All of the birds are in their pre-export quarantine aviary. They'll be here for a couple of weeks and then they'll be heading on a plane to their next destination.
I am in the beautiful South Island. Today is really significant for me personally. I have never seen Kakariki Karaka in the wild. Having been involved in a human care breeding program and seeing the success of that, and then being able to come out to see where all of that hard work concludes.
So this is one of our orange-fronted parakeet nests. It's got a ring of tin around it to protect it from possums, stoats, rats, weasels, anything else that might climb into the nest cavity. The nest cavity is about 10 metres up in a hole.
And so the tin that you've got on all the surroundings is to stop predators from accessing.
So yeah, because predators can canopy climb. So if you don't tin everything that's touching the nest tree, it's still vulnerable.
It's great to have Letitia here, having a connection between the good work they're doing in Auckland Zoo and how that comes to fruition in the wild.
We've got a kakariki just landed up there.
The feeding stations help anchor them. Because they've been bred in captivity, they're used to being fed in captivity, so they have to learn to feed for themselves.
They really love to eat thistles, grass seeds, so there's quite a range of things for them to eat through here.
The fact that we are here today working towards a sustainable population, despite the fact that twice we thought they didn't exist anymore, is pretty significant.
Kakariki Karaka, Tunai Tahu are our taonga species. Our goal is still prevention of extinction. What would I hope for the future? That our manu in the wild are flocking, that we have diversity to enable the manu to be fully sustainable.
Next time on Wild Heroes, a Sumatran tiger cub is rushed to the vet hospital.
We noticed there was something quite severely wrong.
Orangutan Daya is united with the family.
So much love and care and science goes into a journey like this.
And the zoo team embarks on a conservation emergency to the South Island.
This species may be on the absolute precipice of extinction.